Hi, this is Aaron at ThinkBotLabs.com and welcome back. Today we're going to set up our character. Since we're going to have a first-person game where we can see the arms and legs of the character, let's go ahead and set it up so we can see the entire character and then just reposition the camera. So first things first, let's grab our player model and add him to the scene. So we're going to go to Mixamo.com. So right now Mixamo has a lot of animations and characters that you can use for free. So if you haven't already, go ahead and sign up for a new account and then go to the store. And then in our characters, we need to go find the character that we want. And for our game, we're going to use Galatran, this guy right here. Yep, nice little wizard looking model. Alright, now that you have him, we're going to go back to the store and we're going to go grab the Pro Magic Pack. So having 56 animations for a model is fantastic. We're probably not going to use all of those, but let's go ahead and grab them anyway since they're free. So we're going to go ahead and name this to Galatran Pro Magic Pack. So, okay, and then save it with the cogwheel, and then click on View Download. Alright, so we have a downloaded package, and it is selected right now under My Animations. So the animations is going to come with the model and all of the 56 animations. Queue up for download, and when we queue up for download, we want a FBX format so we can import it in Unity. Go ahead and leave the pose on the T-pose and the frames per second at 30. And queue for download. And this will take a little bit of time. It's going ahead and packaging it all up. And then once it's done, we're going to download that in its zip file. So I'm going to pause this real quick and then we'll be right back. Alright, now it's ready for download, so go ahead and download it. And it doesn't matter where, just go ahead and save it out. And let's open up that animation. And we'll extract it. And so this is what we get. We have the model, and then we have all the animations. And they're all named perfect too. So go ahead and grab all these guys, a copy, go back to our project, and let's create a new folder in the Magician called Characters. And I am just going to call this guy Children and pasted all those animations in here. Actually, let's drag them in here. Alright, so this will take a little bit of time, and I'll speed this up for us. Alright, now that it's imported, go ahead and click the Fix Now. This is just going to fix some of the textures. Alright, so now in our folder, we have all the materials and we have our character. Let's go to the inspector. Once we have the main model selected, you can see under rig it's set to animation type generic. We need to set that to humanoid and click apply. And we'll need to do that for the rest of the animations as well. So let's go to the model, make sure everything looks good. The animation. Alright. Alright, so we're going to start off with just the idle. So let's go down and find it. Standing idle. Let's go to the rig, make sure he is humanoid. Click apply. And let's look at this animation, see how it is. Now let's try the second one. Rig, humanoid, and have a look at this one. Yeah, that'll work. So let's grab the standing idle 2 is what we'll be using. Alright, so let's start setting up our player. So let's grab the Galatran model and drag him into the scene. Once we have him dragged into the scene, let's go to the Adventure Creator Game Editor and then go to our settings and we need to switch the movement method from first person to direct. The only reason we're going to do this is going to be a temporary thing, is that when we do the Adventure Creator character wizard, if you have the movement method still on FPS, then you don't get this option. So remember, we're going to set this up as a third-person view and then just switch the camera around. Alright, so Adventure Creator, Editors, Game Character Wizard. So we'll just follow this wizard, say next, and this character is a player. We're going to grab our Galtran object, next, and we're going to animate him with mecanim. And that's it, finish. Alright, go ahead and close that out. And now we can switch our movement method back to first person. Alright, let's go check out what happened to our Galtran and see what the wizard automatically did to it. So it gave him an audio source. We have our path scripts for pathfinding. We have our player script for our animations, our mechanim parameters, our mechanim settings, bone transfers, movement settings, rigid body, audio clips, dialog, rigid body, and capsule collider. And it also gave us a sound child underneath that player. Very good. So let's grab the player and let's bring him out a little bit into the scene. So the capsule collider looks like we can shrink it down just a little bit. So let's find the capsule collider. It should be at the bottom. And let's change the radius a little bit. Shrink it up. There you go. It's better. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up a animator controller. And we'll name it just as it is. So Gal, T-R-I-L-I-A-N, animator controller. Alright, let's go back to Galtran, grab the controller, and then let's drag it on him. Alright, and to start out, let's just go ahead and give him an idle animation. So just like we've done before, let's go find our idle that we're going to use. And idle 2, I believe this is the one we've decided on. Yep. Grab the idle 2, bring it in here. Let's name this idle. Alright, and let's go ahead and set up that camera. So on the root, on the root of the player, let's create an empty game object and call this camera. And let's add the first person camera script to it. And so I don't much care for this head bobbing when moving, so let's just uncheck it. And let's add the camera component. We can go ahead and drag this up. And let's put it at eye level. A little higher. Alright, so go back to the game editor. And let's go to our settings. And so the Adventure Creator, it works off of prefabs for the player. So let's go ahead and turn this guy into a prefab. And we can just put it, I'm trying to think about organization. Let's go ahead and create a folder inside of here and just call it prefabs. And we'll drag him into there. Alright, so now we're going to grab this prefab and drag it over to the player under the character settings. And then click on the Scenes tab, and we need to have our default camera. We're going to grab that camera, and that is going to be our default camera. And let's play it and see how it looks right now. Alright, well we can see that he is idling. We have just a little silhouette of the model, so we'll have to change that camera. Alright, so let's work on some movement controls. I noticed that we didn't have our cursor, so let's go to the cursor tab And then under the main cursor, let's select and let's find the cursor that we want to use. We're going to use the pointer. You can create your own cursor. It's just a sprite PNG. Save it in here, and then we can use whatever you want to use. It's the same for the hotspot cursor and the cutscene cursor, which we'll probably change later anyways. So if you don't have one in here, it'll give you an error message. So just make sure that you go to the cursor tab and select main cursor and add that one in there. So for our inputs, let's go to the settings and look at our available inputs. We need to change a few things. We need to change the cursor horizontal and cursor vertical and the toggle cursor button. So let's go to Edit, Project Settings, Input, and open up Axis. And let's create one more, 20. And this one is going to be Toggle Cursor Button. And we'll set this to tab right now. Let's go to the mouse X and rename this to Cursor Horizontal, and to the mouse Y, Vertical. Go back to the game editor, scroll up and select Lock Cursor in Screen Center when game begins. So let's play that and have a look. So the cursor is locked in the middle screen, and we can move our head around. And we see our hands. Very cool. We'll still have to play with the field of view a little bit, so let's go ahead and get that fixed. Go ahead and stop that. Let's go into the inspector, and let's go to his camera. And so let's go ahead and play the scene so we can look at these settings while we change them. So let's shrink some of these gizmos just a little bit, because it's kind of hard to see where the camera's at. So let's drag this down a little bit. There we go. And let's focus on him. Let's bring the camera out a little bit in front of him. That's good. Let's play that and see how that looks. We're getting a little bit too much of the inside of his body. So now when we look down, I see hands. Let's change the clipping. So we can see the bottom of his teeth. That's probably not the best. We need to bring the camera out just a little bit more, basically in front of him. So let's go ahead and stop that and bring it out just a little bit more. Yeah, okay. So it looks like it's right in front of his eyes. Let's check that out. Alright. Yeah, there we go. And change the clipping just a little bit. I can see his hands. Oops, not the field of view, the clipping. Right there. So 0.21 looks pretty good. Copy that out. Bring that back. So let's play that and see how that looks. Yeah, there we go. We got some nice hands in the scene. Let's go ahead and stop that. And go back to our player. Alright, so player looks a little short, so let's increase his size to a scale of 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Oop, not 15, 1.5. Too big? No, that'll be good. I'll go ahead and click apply, because we are affecting that prefab, so we always, any changes that we make, we have to select the prefab. Scroll down a little bit and let's go ahead and tie in our bone transforms. So let's go find his neck. So that's hips, spine 1, spine 2. Here's our neck bone. And then the left hand, so left shoulder, left arm, left forearm, left hand. And so these are going to come in handy later when we start working on our dialogue and speech. And we can actually animate based on these bone transfers. So right shoulder, right arm, right forearm, and right hand. Alright, and to get him moving around, we have to uncheck Apply Root Motion. Click Apply, and let's play it and see how it goes. Alright, so we can move our head around. We can walk. We still have a little bit of clipping. It looks like it's his hat that's clipping right now. Alright, that's pretty good start. On our inputs, circle back around to it. So we set it up like that so we can have free aim on the cursor to move around, and then when we hit our tab, we can actually lock the screen and move the cursor. We're going to change that around later on once we start setting up our hotspots. That way when we hover over a hotspot, it'll automatically do all that for us. We don't have to press the tab button to lock the screen. It'll go ahead and lock the screen, prevent our player from moving, and let us interact. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then.